I don't know if y'all were checking the socials, keeping a pulse on things, but DJ Lagway posting on his Instagram story, out there throwing the football a little bit. Now, this is significant because during spring practice, first day you show up and you're waiting for number 2 to start throwing the ball, and you're like, why is our starting quarterback not throwing the football during spring practice? Practice 1 turns into practice 5, turns into the spring game. DJ Lagway did not throw all spring. And what we say in college football is people commit to people at the recruiting level. Like, you commit to your head coach, you commit to your position coach, all those things are true. As a fan, you commit to players and coaches. Emotionally, you were committed to DJ Lagway in what you were going to be at Florida next year. Your hopes around Florida, yeah, you feel good about returning production. You think Billy Napier's got this thing headed the right direction. But if you didn't have DJ Lagway at quarterback, that vastly changes the amount of commitment you have emotionally to what Florida's going to be, at least expectations-wise. So this is a big deal, in my opinion, with DJ Lagway throwing the football for a couple of reasons. Let's break down the video really quick, though. One, if you saw that, sweet Jordans. All right, that's the first off. Sweet Jordans, that's cool. A little bit elephant print there, I think. Shout out to Florida, the Jordan School. If you're watching and want to send the boys some gear, we will happily take that. But nonetheless, I digress. 2, on a real note, there's some zip there. Now, it's not a 30-yard throw. The guy's not moving. There's no rush. We're not in pads. I hear all that, but there's some real zip on the ball, not babying it, which to me says, okay, we're actually putting some strain on the arm. I'm encouraged by that. But the reason why this is maybe more encouraging than it is at first glance is I think it rules out what could maybe be considered scary if you were a Florida fan, because this whole thing kind of snuck up on you, right? You didn't have on your bingo card DJ Lagway not throwing during spring practice. That was all out of left field. And so as things progress, you're not really getting a ton of concrete information on this. You're saying, well, how bad is it? How long do I have to wait before I see DJ Lagway spin the pill like a shady pharmacist? When does that happen? And the good news is you won't have to wait till fall camp. You see it on the Instagram story, got to wait till he gets some pads. I hear that, but to me, you're not asking the question, can he throw, waiting for the reports to come out over at Gators Online when we get into the middle of summer. I also think it's potentially worth noting that this proves that Billy Napier was being truthful. Said, hey, DJ Lagway, he's progressing, he's on schedule to throw. You can say all that, but if I don't see it with my eyes, it's just lip service. You're just talking a big game. Yeah, he's on schedule. Well, you don't have to prove it. There's no way that I actually know if that's the case if he's on schedule, because I'm not in the building in Gainesville. I'm not chopping it up with DJ Lagway every day and saying, hey, brother, how's the shoulder? How's the hip? How we doing? How's the lower body? Whatever it is. So that, to me, goes back to feeling, I guess, some level of confidence that it's not this thing where DJ Lagway has this massive injury they're just keeping under wraps. So that's that. Now, I do think your concern level around DJ Lagway missing spring practice goes back to how crucial you think it is for DJ Lagway to have spring practice. Now, I want to get this disclaimer out of there because Cato and I, this is probably our biggest friction point in our professional relationship. We agree on a lot of things, but this is something we probably go back and forth on. And if you if you listen to the Huddle podcast crowd, you're dialed in. Make sure you're subscribed to the podcast feed, Apple, Spotify. Quick plug. Then you know that, and you've heard our takes on this, and I'm sure we'll keep talking about it. But massive disclaimer: is it ever good to miss spring ball, especially as a quarterback? No, not good. There's no way to spin that as a positive. Would it be helpful to see him get more reps? Would it be helpful for his development to get more reps? Absolutely. Does it potentially make you a little bit nervous because other quarterbacks in his more or less like class are getting more reps? Little Sellers, sure. I mean, Garrett Nussmeier going into a second year just starting the SEC, getting more reps. Yeah, absolutely. Is that separating? Probably. To me, though, I go back to this. I'm not, as of right now, viewing Florida differently from a wins-loss perspective based on him not getting spring practice. And to me, this is like the smart kid in your class not doing summer reading. What are you doing? What? Read the book, dude. We had several months. It's important for you to do that. It's going to help you get off on the right foot. Read the book, right? Like DJ Lagway, if we could have you healthy, awesome. Go through spring ball. That would help me just overall when it comes to that first day of fall camp. With that being said, that smart kid is probably going to be okay in the class. Now, a lot of that, too, depends on how smart is that kid. Goes back to how truly talented is DJ Lagway in the context of what the SEC is going to be next year. That's a fair question to ask. I fall on the spectrum of him being much more talented in that like top tier in the SEC, to where not good to miss spring ball, but I'm not losing sleep over it as of right now. Not good, but I'm not overly concerned as of right now. The reason why, I think the hardest adjustment for him was year one. Like, just in general, your first year doing anything, first year in college, first year at a new job, first year, quite frankly, of a new relationship, all those things, that's like the steep learning curve. I think DJ Lagway now, while it would have been nice to get reps, he knows what it is in the SEC. He knows what it is to go through these progressions in this system. He knows what it is to play college football. And so that, to me, takes a lot less of the shock value away from what this injury could have presented. Also, I wish he got the 15 practices. He's got 25 practices in fall camp to improve, give or take. It's a range. I think he's going to utilize those, maximize those, and be in a good shape to be good to go when it comes time for the season, if he's healthy. Now, if you're a Florida fan, I hear what you're saying. JD, don't love the fact that he's injured. Kato and I just talked about this. I hear you. I don't love the fact that we got a 1-year sample size on the guy, and he's been injured in one season. True. Let's let this bake a little bit. Let's let this marinate. Let's see where this thing goes. If DJ Lagway has no more injuries the rest of his career, okay, great. Then this was a one-off. If he gets hurt again next year, and this kind of persists, then you're like, hey, what's going on? Is this a Quinn Ewers situation? Again, I'm going to go ahead and not borrow that trouble right now. I hear what you're saying. Let's hold our opinions a little bit loosely as it stands right now. So if he struggles in the fall, this is my opinion, I don't think it's because he missed spring practice. I think it's about overall he was able to take those 25 practices, max it out, do what he had to do, and go from there. I do think that a lot of the development for him will come in the summer when the rest of his receivers are on the same page with him. So DJ Lagway back to throwing. Love to see it. And maybe a little bit of an exhale if you're a Florida fan in 2025.